for this to be the one that I end up having to cover. It works out perfect because flow arts is something that's really special to me. I pre becoming a yoga instructor, I was a circus arts performer, and I have a circus arts business. So hula hooping and flow is what really got me into my body and into what it means to be in flow and to kind of to be into that flow state and let everything else fall away from us. So I'm going to start us with a quote, and then I'm going to get over to my mat and we'll get started. I wanted to start us off with this beautiful quote by, I'm going to butcher his name, but he's done a lot of research on flow and being in flow state and being in that optimal primal state. Mahale Csikszentmihalyi. I'll drop it in the chat if you want to check it out later. But he says the purpose of the flow is to keep on flowing, not looking for a peak or utopia, but staying in the flow. It is not a moving up, but a continuous flow. You move up to keep the flow going. There's no possible reason for moving up except the climbing itself. It is a self-communication. I just wanted to leave you with that. And I'm going to make my way to meet you on my mat in child's pose. So as we're in child's pose, let's start out by just taking a moment to connect with our breath. Taking a big full inhale in through the nose. And an exhale to sigh it out. Big inhales in. And sigh it out. Noticing that natural flow of breath in and out. That natural rhythm that's always with us. Taking a moment here to align with that first before we even start moving. Really syncing up with the flow of our breath, letting it fill our body on the inhale and really relaxing, surrendering your weight on the exhale. And on the next inhale in, we'll raise up onto the fingertips. And just to bring a little love into our spine as we get started, we'll walk our hands to the right side of the mat, lowering down here. Reaching through the left fingertips, finding length in the spine, anchoring the left hip back towards the left heel, grounding down. Big full breaths. And as we inhale, coming back up onto the fingertips, we'll walk our hands to the opposite side of the mat. Lowering here, same thing on this side. On the inhale, reaching through those right fingertips, finding length in the spine and the right side body. Anchoring the right hip back towards the right heel as we ground down. Big, full breaths. And on the next inhale, coming back up onto the fingertips, we'll walk our hands to the center of the mat. Back to child's pose. Big breath in. Exhale out. We'll activate our Ujjayi breath here to really bring in that flow state. So the Ujjayi breath is an ocean-like breath, a wave-like breath. So it's inhaling in through the nose. And as you exhale, exhaling as if you're trying to fog up a glass mirror. You can do this out the mouth or out the nose. And taking a few breaths like that. Inhale, filling out through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out.
One more here. Big breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. And we'll come up for a tabletop position. Our shoulders are stacked right over our wrist. Our hips stacked right over our knees. Really taking a moment to find that alignment, align and flow. So taking a moment to really set a good foundation, pressing all 10 fingers, all 10 toes or the tops of the feet into the mat. And as you find your foundation here, we'll set up to move through a few cat-cows. So as we inhale, the head raises, the belly drops. As we exhale, the chin comes towards the chest. We press the mat away. We round up like a cat. We'll do a few rounds doing this movement. As we inhale, raising. As we exhale, pressing the mat away, rounding away. And as we move back and forth, there's only two poses here. So seeing if we can drop out of the thinking brain that wants to really critique if our cat and cow is perfect, if we're doing it right. See if we can drop all those thoughts that the thinking brain wants to fill our practice with. And see if we can really just tap into what this feels like, using the full breath as we ride up to our cow. And taking that full breath as we exhale, rounding away, pressing the mat away. And as you're taking these moments, I also invite you to do anything that may feel good. Maybe that looks like a little shift forward and backwards, or side to side. Remembering that this is your yoga practice, so listening to your body first and my words second. I'm just here as a guide to help move you through. Inhales, raising up. Exhales, rounding away. And wherever you're at, the next time you make your way to cat pose, send your hips back, child's pose. And we'll take 3 breaths here, tapping back into that Ujjayi breath if you've lost it. Big inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. One more big breath here. And sigh it out. And as we inhale, we'll raise back up for a tabletop position. Our toes will tuck under. Our knees are going to lift 1 inch off the mat. And we'll just take a moment to hover here. It's nice to really get all those muscles activated. And that simple little lift in the knees, you'll notice, activates the core, the muscles in the arms, the muscles in the legs, making sure we're breathing, not holding our breath here. Big breath in. Exhale out. Big breath in. As you exhale, hips go up and back, downward dog. First downward dog of our practice today. So pedaling out the feet. Probably not the first downward dog you've done if you've been here all day, but at least the first one for this practice. So really moving into however it feels good. Maybe you've been sitting for a little bit in the other room. Just taking a moment to really feel into it. And whenever you feel complete here, taking a walk to the front of the mat. Forward fold when you get there. And we'll take a rag doll, making a box around our head, keeping a gentle bend in the knees, the crown of the head relaxed towards the earth. Noticing if your neck has disappeared. If it has, making a little room for your neck by finding some width in between the shoulders and the collarbones. And if it feels nice, taking a gentle sway left and right. Noticing if you've lost your breath at this point, if you've lost your Ujjayi breath, that nice flow evenly in and out. See if you can find that again here. Maybe bringing it back as you take gentle sways. And releasing the hands from the arms. Inhale, halfway lift, really long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Bend at the knees, rise from the crown of the head, big sweep up, taking as much space as you can with your arms, filling up with oxygen, with life force energy. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. We're gonna do some movement with our breath here. So we'll do a couple rounds and I'll cue you and then maybe doing a round, just really on your own. So big breath in, arms reach up. As soon as our breath hits the top and we're full of oxygen, exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend at the knees, just like we started. Raise from the crown of the head, moving the arms out as wide as you can, taking up space, filling up with oxygen. As soon as you hit the top, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, using that full breath, slow and steady. Exhale, fold forward. Bend at the knees, raise from the crown of the head, sweeping the arms all the way up to standing. Using that full breath until you hit the top, exhale, sending it back, letting it back up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bending at the knees. Rise from the crown of the head, big sweep up with the arms, filling up, taking up space. As soon as we get to top, send it back. Good. Not even taking a moment to pause, not breaking the flow, half lift. Fold forward. Bend at the knees. Rise from the crown of the head, big sweep up, using that breath. Exhale, send it back. 2 more at your own pace. If you're not sure what to do, take a little look at the screen. Using that breath, big full inhales in as you're rising up. Exhales as you're lowering down. Good. Last one. We'll all meet in mountain pose, into Tadasana, big filling up, and then hands to the heart. Pressing our thumbs into our heart, really feeling our feet on the ground, rising up through the crown of our head, taking a moment here to just notice what we've cultivated within. Moving with our breath, using our breath as our guide for the flow today. And then now tapping into the rhythm of the heartbeat that's right there with it. Big breath in. Exhale out. Big breath in. Exhale out. Big inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do 2 more just like that. Big breath in, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last one, big breath in, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to the heart. 1 more breath here. Just taking a moment to really soak in what that feels like. What happens when you tap into that flow with even just some simple movements. We didn't even move our feet, just moving our hips, our chest, our torso. And we're going to take it up a little bit, moving a little bit more in the rest of the body. Big inhale in, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, high plank, hands plant down, feet step back. 3 breaths in high plank. Oftentimes we think in flow, you have to be moving continuously, but our breath is what keeps that flow. Big breath in. Exhale out. Big breath in. If you're sinking in the shoulders, really think about pressing the mat away here instead of letting the earth support you, really pressing away from the earth. 1 more breath. On the exhale, we're coming belly to the mat, so you can bring the knees down or you can lower in one line, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, really filling up the front body. Exhale, hands come under the shoulders. As we inhale, we start to peel the chest up, rolling the shoulders back, lifting from the crown of the head, not kinking the neck back, making sure that neck and spine is nice and long. Good. Downward dog. Big breath in up on the toes. Exhale down through the heels. Good. Big breath in up on the toes. Exhale down through the heels. Keeping with that flow of breath. One more big breath in. As we exhale, making our way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Staying with that breath as we inhale, rising up, taking up space, filling up our lungs. As soon as we hit the top, exhale, folding forward. We're going to do one more just like that. Sun salutations, building some heat in the body. Flow sometimes tends to build heat in the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. 3 breaths in our high planks here. So big, full breath in. Exhale out. Big breath in. Exhale out. One more big, full breath in. As we exhale, belly to the mat, bringing the knees down or lowering in one line, whatever feels good. Keeping those elbows tucked in as we lower our chest. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, filling up the front body. Exhale, hands come under the shoulders. Setting up to peel the heart off the mat. Pressing into the hands, pulling the shoulders back, keeping that spine long. Staying in cobra, we're coming to up dog, whatever feels good in your body today. And we'll send it back to downward dog. Big breath in, up on the toes. Exhale down through the heels. Big breath in, up on the toes. Exhale down through the heels. Good, and we'll take a child's pose. So take knees wide, heels or big toes to touch. Forehead resting on the mat. And taking a moment here, notice where your breath is at. Is your breath still evenly flowing in and out? We've gotten our blood pumping, some heat built in the body. Notice if you can really tap in to that felt sense of blood being pumped through the body. The energetics of the heart doing all the hard work it does for us. Maybe you feel a little bit of pulsing in the head, or maybe you feel some sensation in other places in the body, just noticing without judgment. And coming back to that flow of breath in and out. And just like when we're breathing and we really tap into that flow of breath in and out, everything else tends to fall away. And we focus all of our attention in one place. We can do that same practice of flow in almost anything in our life, whether that be hula hooping or yoga, or maybe it's some other type of work you do, or maybe it's some type of art you do, or dancing. All of these things you can tap in to that state of flow where you're so focused, all of your energy is so focused on one thing that everything else falls away. So here, focusing on that breath, that natural flow that stays with us no matter where we go, no matter what we do. 3 more breaths here. Nice, full, big breaths. Slowly raise back up for a tabletop position. Taking a moment to move however you may need to move. Maybe it's a little shimmy side to side. Maybe it's another cat-cow. Inviting that movement into your practice anytime. Take it back up to downward dog. So hips send up and back. Again, in downward dog, anything that feels good, really kind of stretching out to any of those places where you get and it just feels really yummy. Giving yourself permission to stay there, maybe give a little bounce there, maybe take a little shift side to side. And then I want you to find even pressure through all four limbs. Notice if you have more weight in your hands or if you have more weight in your feet or maybe on your right or left side. Just take a moment to see if we can even it out. And just take a breath or two here. Remembering that even in that stillness, we think of flow as movement, but even in our physical body is still, there is still a flow of energy moving within us if we tap into it. Take a slow walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, really long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bending at the knees, rising with the breath as we raise with the crown of the head. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, thumbs pressed against the heart. Taking a moment here to just notice this movement of energy we've created in our body, this flow of energy we've activated in our body, just noticing what that feels like. And taking a few breaths here before we move back into some more flowy movement. Remembering that our flow stays with us. Even when we're not on the go, even when we're not on the move, the flow does not leave. We just aren't tuned in. Big breath in, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot's gonna step back. Crescent lunge. So taking a moment, align and flow. So remembering that the part of align is important to making sure that what we're doing is in alignment with our truth and what is right for us. So taking a moment to really find our alignment here. Checking in with your ribs. If you're like me, those little ribs like to flare out. Seeing if we can zip those in, tuck them in. Engage that core. We'll add some movement here. So as we inhale, our thumbs will reach back. We'll lift with our chest. As we exhale, our chest will come forward, our arms sweep back, making one long line from the heel all the way to the crown of the head. Good, big inhale, rising up. We'll do 2 more of these. Exhale, folding over that way. Good, big breath in, rising up. Last one. Exhale, folding over that way. Good. Inhale, rising up. And as we exhale, warrior 2, letting that back heel find the mat. One long line from the right fingertips all the way to the left. Again, taking a moment to find our alignment here. Sitting up strong, really pressing our feet into the mat. Noticing if your shoulders are by your ears, letting them relax back, giving room for your neck, room for your spine. Good, and we'll add some movement, add some flow here. So as we inhale, we press down through the feet, rise up through the hands, through the crown of the head. Exhale, back to warrior 2. Good, big inhale, rising up. Exhale, warrior 2. Good. We'll do 3 more rounds just like this. Dropping the thinking brain. Being present with what the movement feels like in the body as we inhale, rising up. As we exhale back to warrior 3. And 2 more. Last one, slow motion, being really slow, extending our movement, extending our breath, both together all the way to the top. And as we exhale, slowly lowering back down, nice slow motion. Good. Good, good. Inhale, front palm flips. Exhale, we'll scoop it back, reverse our warrior. Big breath in back to the top. Exhale, windmill all the way back down for high plank. Through belly to the mat here, straight back to downward dog. The option is yours. So if you want to take belly to the mat, we'll take knees down, chest down. Just like before, inhale, heart, hands reach up over the head, filling up the front lungs. Exhale, hands under the shoulders. As we inhale, we round up, we start to peel the shoulders, the chest off the mat. Exhale, downward dog. Good, big breath in up on the toes. Exhale, down through the heels. Big breath in up on the toes. Exhale, down through the heels. One more big breath in. As you exhale, bend the knees, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend at the knees. Rise from the crown of the head. Big sweep up all the way to standing, taking up space, filling up with energy. Exhale, hands to the heart. Taking a moment here. Have you lost your Ujjayi breath? If you've lost your Ujjayi breath and it's maybe become shallow or maybe it's kind of out of your awareness, bring it back here before we move to the other side. Remembering that that is our guide for our natural flow of life that stays with us. Big breath in, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back. We rise up, crescent lunge. Setting up for the same thing on this side that we just did on the other side. So aligning first, really pressing down through our front feet, our toes of our back foot, checking in with those ribs, making sure those ribs are tucked in, that core is engaged. We'll lift up through the fingertips, raise through the chest. As we exhale, chest comes over the right leg, arms sweep back. Good, big breath in, arms reach out. Exhale, folding over that front leg. Good, last one, big breath in. Exhale, folding over, good. Good, big breath in all the way to the top. As we exhale, open up warrior 2, back foot comes to the mat, heel to the mat. Front foot's facing forward. And we'll move with our breath here, just like we did on the other side. So as we inhale, we press down through the feet, raise up through the crown of the head. As we exhale, we lower back into warrior 2. One breath, one movement. Your feet aren't moving. It's just bending and moving your arms. So see if we can drop that thinking brain that wants to make this yoga pose perfect. And see if we can just tap in to that being, really noticing what it feels like, being in that flow state, being in the moment. Nothing else to worry about, but exactly what you're doing. Last one, in slow motion. Extending the breath, extending the movement. Both on the inhale and the exhale. And front palm flips over. We scoop it back. Good. Inhale back into the top. We'll inhale all the way back down, high plank. Big breath in. As you exhale to the mat, or you can go straight back to downward dog if you'd like. Inhale, hands reach up overhead, filling up the front lungs. Exhale, hands under the shoulders. Taking a moment here, setting up as we peel our shoulders back, lift our heart, keep that length in the neck and the spine. Exhale, child's pose. Hips and back. Where's your breath? Are you tapped in with that flow of breath? Has the breath run rampant and done its own thing? If so, it's okay. Just tapping back in here, tapping back in these moments to reconnect, to realign. Two more breaths here. Big full breaths in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Big full breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Slowly raise back up. For a downward dog, we won't be here long, just taking a moment to transition. Again, any movements that feel good, maybe some paddles in the feet, maybe some shifts in the hips side to side. And we'll take a slow walk to the front of the mat. And once we get to the front of the mat, we're coming bottom down to the ground, however you would like to get there. Good. Once we arrive, let's just take a moment to give our knees a little windshield wiper left and right. That may feel nice as we make our way to the ground. Good. And then coming into the center, hands behind our thighs, we'll rise. Lifting the chest, take a gentle lean back. We're just going to take 3 breaths right here, almost like we're sitting in a chair. When I teach it to kids doing this, I say like we're sitting in a rocket ship that's about to launch off. So like we're leaned back, our heart's lifted, 3 big breaths here. If you want a little extra challenge, you can take those heel lifts or maybe release the hands. Wherever you're at is perfect. After the 3rd breath, heels come back to the mat. And we'll take a little windshield wiper left and right. And slowly lowering all the way down to our back. I invite you to reach up really tall, big, inhale in. And as you lower, see if we can keep control all the way down. Nice and slow. Slowly rolling each vertebrae. Once you make it, taking another one of those windshield wipers left and right. Those are a nice little release, nice little reset. Okay. Coming back into the center, knees to the sky, our hands next to our sides. We'll set up to move through a few bridge poses, but we're going to move through them flowing with our breath. So as we inhale, lifting from the tailbone first, lifting 1 vertebrae at a time as we raise up into our shoulders. Once we get to the top, slowly using our exhale as we roll back down. We'll do a few rounds. So as we inhale, lifting from the tailbone first, rising up into bridge pose. And as you exhale, slowly rolling back down. Really slow, really mindful with our movement. A few rounds, 1 breath, 1 movement here. Again, dropping that thinking brain, that brain that wants to judge and critique, and really just sinking into what you're experiencing right now in the moment, what you're focusing on right now in the moment as you roll 1 vertebrae up, as you roll up to your bridge with your breath. Even getting a nice little back massage as you go, slow and mindful, rolling through these. coming back to the ground. We'll bring our knees into the chest. Give them a nice little rock back and forth, a squeeze in, whatever feels good in your body. If it feels good, you can take your knees in a circle, going one direction. And then we'll take them in a circle, going the opposite direction. Yeah. We'll keep our right knee into our chest. We'll send our left foot to the mat. And if it feels good, we can extend it out all the way. I'm taking a moment here to just give that right leg a little love, maybe a little rock back and forth. Maybe some circles in one way and then the other with just one leg. Maybe even give the ankle a little love, some circles or some points and flexes. And then we'll send our right foot towards the sky, interlacing our hands behind the thigh. Your leg doesn't have to be straight here. Just finding that nice stretch through the hamstring, through all those muscles that like to shorten when we sit, especially with winter time coming up and everybody being at home, all the sitting that happens. So just taking a moment to give a little love to those in particular. And if you're not breathing here, breathing into that tension, sending our breath to those places of tension, to those places of tightness. One more big breath here. And right knee comes back into the chest. And we'll set up for a twist. So our left hand comes to the right knee. Our right knee will slowly move to the left side of the body. Right arm can reach out where it can T or cactus to the side. We'll notice our breath here as we take a big full breath in. We naturally back off the twist. Our body naturally comes out of the twist. And as we exhale and release it out, our body flows with the natural rhythm of our breath. It's assisted with gravity to guide us in the twist without us doing the work. So taking a few breaths here as we inhale, filling up the lungs, noticing what happens in the body as you fill up. And as you exhale, noticing how the twist is guided, is supported without force. This is the beauty of that flow of breath that's always guiding us, sometimes in subtle ways until you tap into it. And we'll slowly roll back onto our back and bring the other knee into the chest, giving a nice squeeze, maybe a rock side to side. And we'll set up to do that same thing on the opposite side. So our right foot will find the mat. Our left hands will keep our knee. If it feels good, your right leg can extend long to the length of the mat. And then taking some circles with that left leg in, or maybe some points and flexes with the foot. Squeezes, anything that feels nice. Rock side to side with that one leg. Anything that feels nice here. And we'll take our left foot towards the sky, interlacing the hands behind the right thigh. Same thing here, really breathing into those areas that feel tense and tight. If you're like me, maybe your leg is shaking right now, and that is okay. Just breathing into those areas, not forcing anything, not doing anything that doesn't feel good in the body, but breathing into anywhere that may feel a little tight, a little tense. One more breath here. And we'll bring our right knee back into the chest. We'll set up for the twist on this side, or our left knee back into the chest. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left knee goes to the right side of the body. Left arm can reach out or come to a cactus, whatever feels good. Head looks straight forward or over the opposite shoulder. Again, not forcing anything, being really gentle here so we can let gravity guide our twist as we inhale, filling up, letting our lungs expand. And as we exhale, noticing how as our lungs empty out, our twist naturally deepens without force. And one more really big full breath here. And exhale out. And coming back into the center of the mat, knees back into the chest. Taking a final moment here to rock side to side. Take anything that feels good. Maybe that it looks like a happy baby pose. Maybe that looks like something else in your practice that you might not have gotten. Inviting that in, giving that to yourself. Good. And we'll extend our feet to the ends of the mat as you finish. And start to make our way to a lying position. And as you get comfortable here and start to get closer to our final resting pose of Shavasana, I invite you to take a moment once you get settled to just give yourself some little heel rocks. Sometimes that helps to kind of settle in, move any last little bit of energy, kind of wiggle into your spot. And once you feel comfortable, just relaxing, letting it go. And we'll take a few moments here to find stillness in our practice. So noticing the places where the earth is supporting you and holding you up. Noticing that natural rhythm of our breath, maybe noticing the natural beat of your heart. And there's nothing you have to be doing in Shavasana. That's the magic and the beauty of Shavasana. The only thing you have to be doing is being. And if you notice your mind begins wandering off, bringing it right back to the breath. Knowing that your breath is always an anchor for you to find your flow, to find your way back to the moment. And when we're really aligned and when we're really in our flow, that's where the magic happens. That's where things effortlessly come about. That's when the manifestation happens. That's when the connection happens to that higher power, to that source, to that bigger energy, whatever you want to call it. That's where the magic happens, in that flow. Knowing that flow is within you. It's within you every breath you take, every time your heart beats. Flow is not just something that happens in yoga practice or that happens when we're dancing. It's something that's happening all the time. It's just a matter of really tapping in and really tuning in and letting it happen without all the chatter of the mind that tries to cloud and block what's coming through. Big full breath in, filling up with that energy, with that life force, connecting with that flow. Exhale, let it all go. We'll do two more just like that. Big breath in, filling up. Exhale, letting it go. Last one, big breath in. And let it go. Knowing that you can tap into that flow state anytime. It's all about what you're focusing on and where your energy is going. And whenever you're ready, slowly wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe reaching overhead like you're waking up in the morning. And if it feels good, taking a soft smile at the corners of the mouth. And bringing one foot to the mat and then the other before rolling onto one side in the fetal position. Taking a moment here of gratitude for showing up on your mat, for your mind, for your body, for your breath, for the flow that connects all of it together. And these practices that help us connect them. And very slowly, very steadily raising to maybe seated on the mat. Hands at heart center. Eyes softened or closed. Big full breath in. Exhale out. 2 more, big breath in. Exhale out. May you continue to move through the rest of your evening, through the rest of your week, through the rest of your life. Really tapping into that flow that is within you, really knowing that it is there to guide you on your way. May you move through your time in peace. Om Shanti.